Hello everyone and welcome to the Australian Grand Prix. We are here for a 4-race championship, 3 4-lap races and one 16-lap race finale to round up the championship. We're here in Sydney, Australia. This is the first series of many to come in the future here at Blue Wallaby International Raceway. Here we can see 3 different types of tyres: the soft, medium and hard, long-lasting, balanced and the fastest. Around this track it's quite technical along with many bumpy curves. All of those factors will heavily impact the tyre wear. Now let's have a bit of a track analysis here. So into turn 1 it's a tight hairpin and then you're met with a double left-hander. This will truly test your tyres as you're having to face some heavy g-force. Then you reach a hairpin and then into a weavy straight. Then you're met with another chicane, the second corner of which has the gravel trap, and that commonly costs drivers their lap as they often invalidate themselves. Now you met with a hairpin and another chicane. Then this chicane also causes some crashes. We'll tend to see that quite a bit in the upcoming race. Then you're met with a long left-hander. Then you're met with the long straight, which leads into a long right-hander, which could possibly lead to some lockups and heavy tyre wear. Then you're met with a hairpin, another long right-hander, to then lead you onto the final 2 corners that can be taken flat out, but also have to be careful as the bumps through the curbs are quite severe. Now, let's head into the race. Now, as the cars line up, the first race of this championship. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and away we go for the very first race of this championship. Down into turn 1, it seems Dutch gets a great start, but King also getting a great getaway. Heading into turn 1, he locks the inside line. Now he's contesting with Hogg for P1. Now we're heading into the double left-hander. Hogg leading ahead, but King is also going to be fighting back, taking the inside line. But now Dutch is trailing just behind. Will he go for a move? He's going for the switchback down the inside into that hairpin. Now as we lead onto the weavy straight, we're going to get to the chicane. Let's see if the driver's grid order will change as we head into here. Some people may cut through the corner, so they may get one of their 3 warnings before they get a penalty. But in the meantime, King leading ahead, Basket getting slightly ahead of Dutch now, and Dutch going side by side with Hogg in the distance, but also Basket has come out ahead of the pack and is now probably going to be contesting King for the lead. And as I say that, King is taking an odd racing line, taking an inside line and preparing themselves for the long right-hander. Now Basket has gained off of that, as it seems the racing line has heavily affected King's exit. And now Hogg contesting Dutch for that P3 spot. They both seem very competitive for that spot. Cher not too far behind, Apollokips in P6. Meanwhile, King up ahead. Basket seems to have overtaken him, so now Basket is leading the race. King is going to do their absolute best to take that position back, but it's going to be quite a struggle. Hogg is getting closer to Cher. Dutch seems to have fallen away, so it seems the 2 Lotus drivers are dominating the midfield here, and can possibly challenge the higher up drivers like King, for example. Cher with 6 seconds away, and it seems Hogg has crashed. Hogg has crashed out of this race. Hogg has completely lost the back end. We saw this earlier on lap 3, so it seems it's foreshadowed this unfortunate event for Hogg. Hogg is now out of this race. Basket comes around the final corner to win the very first race of this championship. What a drive pulled off by Basket. What a dominating race he's pulled here. He managed to get the lead at the end of lap 2. And King seems to have some damage. So this might be the cause as to why he was losing so much time. But yeah, King takes P2 for Red Bull. And Cher around the final corner gets P3 for Lotus. Unfortunately, the only representative for Lotus to finish this race, with Dutch coming in P4 for the GG3 racing team. And soon to come around the final corner is Apollokips in the GG3, rounding off the top 5. But wait, here comes Juan! Where does this pace come from? Juan has completely overtaken Apollokips. He's caught him napping. He's come around the final corner, and now Juan comes across the line to take P5 of Apollokips. Apollokips was not expecting that. What a turn of events on the final lap. Now, before we get into the current race standings after that amazing first race, it's best we describe to you how the point system works. So, for 4 lap races, only the top 5 are able to award themselves points. And the system goes as such. P1 gets 5 points, P2 gets 4 points, P3 gets 3 points, P4 gets 2 points, and P5 getting a singular point, leaving the rest of the grid without a single point to their name. Now, 16 lap races hold a little more complication. P1, 15 points, P2, 12 points, P3, 11 points, P4, 10 points, P5, 9 points, P6, 8 points, P7, 6 points, P8, 4 points, P9, 2 points, and P10 gets 1 point by leaving the rest of the grid with nothing. Now, bearing that in mind, for the first 4-lap race, Basketic gets themselves 6 points, with the Raceway awarding them 5 and the fastest lap getting them a bonus. King Cal getting them 4 points, Churkin 3, Dutch Tuber 2, and Juan in 5th place with a singular point to their name. Now, as we head into the next race, we see who can contend Basketic for the current championship lead. Away we go down into turn 1. Who can get the better lead? Basket just has the natural pace down the straight, but so does King and Vagos. Vagos going side by side with King, trying to challenge into the double left-hander now, but Basket just has better pace, and so does King, following closely behind. That slipstream is going to help them down this long straight with the slightly curved corners, but it seemed like an Aerox car nearly crashed into the wall there. So we'll have to see what happened to them further at the back. But meanwhile, King not too far ahead of Vagos. Vagos following closely. That Ferrari has some pace, but so does Dutch and Peter following in P4 and P5. In the points positions, let's see what they can bring to the table here. We didn't see Peter in the top 5, but that was a McLaren going down the inside into the long left-hander. Can Peter contest with this McLaren? We've seen how fast they are around here. And speaking of, Daniel going fast down the straight into the long right-hander, and he's going around the outside, but Peter's fighting back by trying to go down the inside. But can he fight back trying to go around the outside? He can't do it, but he's going around the outside again into the hairpin. He's doing everything he can to fight for that position, and what a great show they are putting on. Daniel getting a bad exit, kind of riding the curbs there, giving him a bad exit. Those tires are not able to grip onto the track as much as he had hoped. But meanwhile, Vagos riding that sausage curb, going very wide. Those medium tires don't seem to be holding up as much as they would have hoped. But King, however, holding P2, seems to be relaxing themselves. They don't seem to be under too much threat. But wait, hold on. Vagos seems to be ahead of King. It seems the timesheets haven't updated themselves. So Vagos is now on P2, King on P3, and now Daniel might be able to... Oh wait, King's down to P2. What on earth is going on with the timesheets here? No, Daniel is fighting. Daniel is fighting for a P3. So now it seems King has fallen down into P4. What has happened here? King had the pace at the start of this race, and as a matter of fact, he had the pace last race. But now he's completely fallen off, and now Daniel contesting for P3. Daniel has now found himself on the podium positions, but King is fighting back. He's gone around the outside, now into turn 1. What can he do? Daniel's not going to give up without a fight. And Daniel's doing the absolute most he can in that McLaren. He's come from all the way down the grid. Meanwhile, King has done whatever they can to try to defend, but it hasn't worked out in his benefit. Around the final corner, Basket has led every lap of this race. He's shown the same dominance as last race, and he takes the win here in Australia. What a dominant performance by Basket. McLaren team seeing outstanding. Meanwhile, Vagos takes P2 with an 11.6 second gap separating him to Basket, but a great performance nevertheless. And Daniel's hit the wall on the straight, and that's Peter. Peter's come around the final corner and it's taken P3 from Daniel. Daniel couldn't do a thing. Daniel has completely ruined his chances of a podium chance. Oh my word, what an unexpected finish. Now Cher taking P5 for Lotus, but oh my word, Daniel fuming in the cockpit. Quite the dramatic ending here in Australia. Unfortunate for Daniel, and let's see where he puts himself on the standings. Up top, Basket with 14 points. Vagos with a 10-point difference. Him sitting down in P2 with 4 points, shared by Shurkin and King Callum. Peter in P5 with 3 points. Daniel with 2 points after an unfortunate ending. Dutch Tuber with P2 and Juan rounding off the order with a single point. The remaining few drivers in the point standings are yet to be filled, but that was an entertaining race. Let's see what the third one has in store for us. And lights out and away we go. A good start from Daniel, but so did Basket. Heading down into turn 1, they're going side by side, but it seems like Bebe is having a go on the two McLarens. But it seems Basket, no, that's Daniel. Daniel's gotten a rocket of an exit out of turn 1, and now it's darting ahead of the pack. Where is Basket? Basket's fallen all the way into the thick bunch of cars. So it seems Daniel has now got the lead. He's leading and he's charging away from the pack. Bebe, however, is leading ahead of Dutch, Basket, and Boaty. All of those drivers are going to struggle getting past Bebe, considering we haven't seen them perform before. So we should expect a great defense performance coming from Bebe. They've got a lot to manage here, but as I say that, Basket seems to have already gotten past them. So never mind that, but it seems Festive has flipped. Festive has crashed their car, and now they've fallen all the way down the grid order. That's far from ideal, and now they've gone down into P11. Not ideal. Definitely not what Festive wants at the early stages of this race, but what it does mean is they have a lot more ground to work with, and they've got more time to overtake the remaining drivers. However, up front, Daniel Ricciardo being closed in on by Basket. Basket seems to have regained composure, and now they should be able to. Oh, he was drifting out of the final corner there. That was close. You don't want to be making those mistakes there, especially when you reach the exiting curb. But oh my word, Basket getting really close into turn 1. Now as we reach the double left-hander, you can just see Basket is doing the absolute most they can, but the grip seems to be an issue. Juan's just going to need to do whatever they can. And KGH has crashed. KGH has flipped. Their car's gone flying. KGH has taken themselves out of this race. What has happened there? How unfortunate for the super driver. Meanwhile, it seems Basket has taken the lead of this race. I'm not sure where Daniel is. We can't seem to see him. And Daniel's crashed! Daniel has crashed at the chicane! We predicted this. We predicted that this could cause a crash. And yet it has. It has caused a crash. Daniel has taken himself out of the race-winning chances. Now Daniel's probably found himself out of the top 5. He's ruined all of his chances and he's out of the top 5. He is in fact out of the top 5. And now Peter and Dutch fighting for P4 privileges. And Peter gets a great switchback out to the exit of that corner. Can Dutch fight back? We'll just have to wait and see. There's not many corners remaining, however. That DRS one was his number 1 chance. But here comes Basket for the 3rd win in a row. Unfortunate for Daniel to lose that race win, but Basket, what a respectable drive, keeping a consistent pace throughout this entire race. And now here comes Bebe around the final corner, no front wing, but will come across the line. P2 for the RDA team, and Peter comes around P3 for the RDA team with Dutch P4, sorry, and Daniel in securing P5. Not the ideal performance that the team would have wanted, but it'll have to do for McLaren. Another outstanding race and performance by Basket, getting himself 21 points in the championship. Peter, 15 points behind, with Daniel not too far behind with 4 points, shared by Bebe, Shurkin, Vagos, King, and Dutch. All of them sharing 4 points. Juan with a singular point rounding off the championship currently. Now, it'll have to be a tiebreaker between the midfield heading into the next race. Who will take P2? Here we are for the final race of the series. Can Basket secure the championship? Lights out and away we go. It's a great start from Basket. Daniel not so great. Fearless jumping him on the start. Now heading into turn 1. Bebe, Fearless, and Daniel all fighting for that P2 position. Meanwhile, Basket takes off, but heading into the double left-hander, Basket goes severely wide. That allows Fearless, Bebe, and Daniel to all fight for the P1 position, and they go 4 wide heading into this corner. But Daniel fighting Basket, he's doing whatever he can to redeem himself from last race. He's gonna get that top step. He needs that top step to redeem himself. Even if he can't win, he needs to secure himself P2 in the championship. Meanwhile, Fearless, Bebe not too far behind. Daniel right on Basket's tail, up behind his gearbox, and heading into the far left-hand corner. What can he do with DRS, ERS, and Slipstream? He's got to do whatever he can. He's got 16 laps to use here, and he's got to use them wisely, considering he's only 2/10 off of Basket up ahead, but that might change soon. Bebe up right behind him, but followed by Supra and Fearless. Boti, Peter, Sella, Dutch, and Perinator all rounding off the top 10. The point positions really close together. Meanwhile, Boti, Peter fighting close for that P6 position. Peter has found himself in the points position nearly every race. So can he continue that streak into this one? Now heading down into turn 1, what can he do? Can he go for the dive bomb? He's going to try it, but no, he can't make it. He can't make that position. Meanwhile, up ahead, Daniel fighting for P1. Basket doing whatever he can to defend. Daniel's going around the outside. Basket has the inside line, meaning he'll get ahead out to that corner. Daniel's doing his best to have a go at P1. But Basket just has that rapid pace, as we've seen in the past 3 races. Daniel is all over his gearbox, but so is Bebe and Fearless. That DRS train is going to be insane heading into the DRS zone. Meanwhile, into the chicane. But is that Daniel? Daniel goes flying on one set of wheels on his left-hand side. I don't think he wants that to happen again, because he's lost lots of time now and possibly cost himself the position to Bebe. And no, he hasn't, but Bebe is 3/10 off, and he goes severely wide, and Daniel crashes. Daniel has crashed. Daniel has lost another chance at the race win due to another fatal mistake. Daniel has lost himself a front wing and lots more time along with that. So now he's got a box. Luckily, he's not too far from the pit lane, but he has to ace this entry. And if he makes a mistake, and he's crashed on the entry, Daniel has crashed on the entry. He's both crashed near the final corner and at the pit entry. This is not what Daniel needs to be able to contend for the championship. Yeah, Peter is also pit. The 2 championship contenders for Basket's #1 place have both pitted, and they've all lost crucial ground to even get close to challenging Basket. And Basket needs to fall out of the top 5 for them to even have a chance at winning. Meanwhile, up front, Fearless, Supra, both going side by side, equalizing into Sector 1. Not much of a gap separating the 2, but that might change heading into Sector 3. Both of the drivers fighting against one another. Festive, Sella, Boti, Perrington are all fighting for that P6 position. Festive, though, has a great lead, but Sella is all behind Perinator. Perinator is doing whatever he can. He doesn't have the DRS. Sella does. He's going to have the slipstream. They're going side by side. They're getting a bit of slipstream from Festive up ahead, down into the right-hand corner. Sella doesn't get a great exit. He's going to try around the outside, heading into the next hairpin. Does he? Can he make a move? No, he can't. He tries to go around the outside. He seems to go a bit wide. But now heading into the final 2 corners. What an overtake by Super around the outside, heading into the final corner, but he doesn't get a great exit out to the final one. Fearless gets a greater exit, and now heading into the turn 1, Fearless gets a better entry and leads ahead of Super. Meanwhile, Sella gets ahead of Perinator, and Perinator is going side by side, trying to go around the outside. He can't make it work. Those medium tires will only go a certain distance, but they should give him more grip. Peter down in P10. Just ahead of Juan. So Juan is doing his absolute best here, but it seems that top 5 finish in the first race isn't carrying on into this one. Meanwhile, up front, Fearless and Supra still fighting for P4. Don't bear in mind, these are crucial positions. This is for P4, and it does give you lots of points. And as I say that, Super gets an amazing switchback. He goes down the inside. He outplays Fearless. Fearless goes too wide, but now they have a drag race. down in to the far, or the hard right corner. So, Fearless down the inside, but goes way too deep, hits the sausage curb, and now Super fights back, heading into the hairpin. He gets a far better exit. Fearless falls behind, and now Festive, we can see in the distance, crawling up behind the two drivers, lurking, waiting for that opportunity to take P4 away from the two drivers. Now Super out to that final corner. Let's hope he can maintain that position, but let's see if Fearless can sneak up on him. Meanwhile, Perinator ahead of Sella once more, but this corner has a massive difference on the two drivers. Sella now has DRS. No, he doesn't have DRS, as a matter of fact. So it's essentially a drag race down into turn 1, but he doesn't manage to get an overtake, unfortunately. So he's going to need to wait for either the next straight or the next DRS zone. Now, Sella is doing whatever he can to make the move work. That Haas car has not been challenged around here, especially in long distance. We haven't seen either him or Perinator around here. So this is a true test for all of us viewers, or for them essentially, to see how long they can last. They don't know anything about one another. So this is truly a fight to the death, going into unknown grounds here. And as I say that, Sella goes for the overtake and now leads ahead of Perinator. Basket leading the race ahead of Bebe, not too far behind, as a matter of fact. So Bebe, if they keep this pace up, they should be able to have a go at Basket. Bebe does have 4 points, remember, so if they can get the win, fastest lap, they should be able to contest if Basket falls out of the points positions. But now Supra and Fearless both fighting once again, and we can see Festive in the background, not too far behind either. He's right behind them, and Festive, he's going to have DRS. He's going to have DRS into the straight, and it seems Fearless gets a bad entry into that corner. Now he's falling behind. Festive is going to have a move on Fearless, but Fearless seems to have gotten a better exit out of the final corner. He's going down the inside, but so does Festive. Festive goes for a dive bomb. He goes way too deep. He has a bad exit. He goes way too wide out of the exit. Super Fearless going side by side into the double left-hander, but so does Festive. Festive goes right up the middle of the two drivers, now heading into the hairpin. Festive gets a much better exit. He goes up the inside of Supra. They're going side by side, heading down into the chicane. Who can get the lead heading into the chicane, into sector 2? And it seems Festive gets ahead. He has a green first sector. That's proving he's got the pace. And Super Fearless are just lacking in that area. Now, Festive pulls away from both Super and Fearless. It seems Super just doesn't have the pace to keep up with Festive. Meanwhile, Festive is going to dart off into the distance and probably chase Bebe down for that P2 position. Super leading ahead of Fearless. He didn't get a great exit. And as I say that, it seems he realizes that his grip isn't great either. But so does Fearless. Fearless also pits. So the two drivers on the medium tires switching onto likely either a fresh set of hards or another set of mediums. Depends how much they think they can extend their tires. But they both head onto a set of hard tires. So we will be seeing them head to the end of this race on their current set of tires. But Daniel and Peter skip them in the pit stop phase, but bearing in mind Daniel had made an early stop. Bebe has retired. Bebe has retired from the race. Bebe is out of this Grand Prix, and now Festive is going to take that P2 spot, and that promotes everyone in the grid order. So everyone's going to have one extra place. Actually Peter going for a move on Supra just then. Supra defending off of Peter. Peter was really ambitious trying on Supra just then. But Supra, as we know, has the fresher set of tires. So there was no chance Peter could have possibly kept up with him. And as I say that, we can see Supra just pulling away. He just has he has more grip, and yeah, Peter's going wide out to that corner. So Festive hasn't stopped yet, I believe. Neither has Basket, so we should be seeing them pit very soon. And oh my word, what's an overtake by Supra? Supra's challenging Daniel. That was an almighty switchback. It didn't work out for them, but they're going side by side. That DRS zone is really helping the two drivers. Now heading into the long right-hander, that switchback has proved beneficial. Into that corner, going side by side, into the hairpin. Supra going a bit wide there, but so does Daniel. Daniel goes even wider. As we remember, that older set of tires really puts the drivers at a disadvantage, especially around here, considering how technical and how bumpy these curves are. That really does challenge the tires of every driver on the grid. Now Daniel, he realizes he doesn't have the grip to compete with the new pit stoppers. So he now pits, it depends what tire he pits onto. But here comes Supra on Festive, down into turn 1. Can he make a move around the outside? No, he can't. But he's going to try to do the switchback into the double left-hander. Can he make it work? No, he can't. He breaks a bit more than Festive, but Festive goes slightly wide there, out of that corner. Now Festive goes a bit wide into this hairpin as well, so Supra is going to go side by side, heading down into the chicane. Can he make it work? We've seen the 2022 cars have the ability to go smoothly through chicanes and quite flat out corners. Can he make that to his? Can he use that to his advantage? It doesn't seem like it. But now heading into the second chicane, let's see if he can make it work. No, it doesn't seem like it. And Festo takes off once more. Daniel's slowly crawling his way up the grid. We've seen how persistent Daniel has been to crawl his way up from the bottom of the grid, as we remember his incident in the early stages. He's been making his comeback work extremely well. And as I say that, he's about to make the switchback work on Sella. Sella goes a bit too wide. Now heading into the hairpin. And Daniel around the outside gets the overtake. And Sella can't make it work. He goes way too wide. And he just can't get back at Daniel after that overtake. And you can just see how much more grip Daniel has. So now he's up into P5, P5 I believe. He's into P5, and now Fearless not too far up ahead on the hard set of tires. Meanwhile, Daniel on the mediums. So Daniel should be able to close in very soon, considering those medium tires naturally have more grip. And as I say that, he goes around the outside into the DRS zone. Can he make it work into the long right corner? He's going for the outside move. Fearless is trying to fight back on the inside, but he can't do anything. He's a sitting duck. He's a sitting duck. He can't do anything. Those sets of hard tires just aren't there for him. They're just not there. And Daniel's managed to make those medium tires work, and just like that, Daniel's already a second ahead of Fearless. Daniel not too far behind of Supra, now down into the DRS zone. Can he make the same overtake he made on Fearless? The exact same position, exact same time, exact same overtake around the outside, heading into the long right-hander. And he makes the exact same overtake. Daniel is on it. He is superior above these drivers. You can see the skill he has. He's up there. He's got the same kind of skill as Basket does. He just hasn't had the luck this championship. And now Supra hits the sausage curb and he makes a complete mess of the final two corners. Daniel just manages to charge away. I'm not sure if Supra's DRS will help him at all here, but Daniel goes way too deep. Daniel goes way too deep there. And now Supra is right behind him. He's right on his tail. So maybe Daniel's tires are starting to run out here. Meanwhile, Daniel's fighting Supra right behind him, heading into the final two corners. You can see how slow Daniel's going through that chicane. I wonder what's happened there. His car's going very, very, very slow. That's leaving him vulnerable to Supra and Fearless. Fearless is going to close up, and he's going to close in soon. But he seems to be lifting off, and Supra is ahead. Supra is leading ahead of Daniel. What has happened to Daniel's charge? It seems his mediums have run out now. And now Daniel, he just doesn't have a chance. It's like his tires have completely fallen off here. And I think Daniel's just got to defend off of Fearless at this point. Charging or trying to catch Supra is out of the question, it seems. Because now Fearless around the inside of Supra and Daniel in the same corner. So now Fearless has pulled a double overtake. So now it's 3 wide heading into the upcoming corner down the DRS zone. Fearless leading ahead of Daniel with quite a gap, and also between him and Supra. And where's Daniel? Daniel's gone. He's going. So Daniel has retired. Daniel's got a mechanical issue. He's run out of fuel. And Daniel, on the final lap of this race, has retired from the Grand Prix, from almost last up into P3 essentially, and is now retired from the Grand Prix. Basket wins the final race and the championship with that. Basket has been so dominant in this series. He has been the most dominant driver, winning every single race, almost getting every fastest lap, but lost the last fastest lap in the last race to Daniel, but Festive coming across the line for P2, a respectable finish. Festive has started from quite far down the grid and achieving the most overtakes in this race. Festive in that 2021 Alfa Romeo, but Fearless has been on a great charge this race. He's been fighting Supra for track position for essentially the entire race, and he's come out ahead. He's come out on top out of the two drivers. We've seen who's the better driver, and Fearless secures himself a podium position, P3. What a drive pulled off by Fearless there. Now Supra coming across the line for P5. Wait, Sella's got some P4. So wait, Supra's lost P4. Sella's got some P4. And now Supra's got some P5. Oh my word. I hope you guys enjoyed that race as much as I did. That was truly an intense race. And that rounds off the season here with Basket getting the most dominant finish we have seen. He gets 41 points. Peter becoming the runner-up with 14, followed by Festive, Fearless, Sella, Supra, Daniel, Boti, Bebe, and Shurkin. Looking further down the order, Dutch taking P11, Vagos and King all share 4 points, followed by Matty and Juan. Matty getting 2 points and Juan only managing to get a singular point. But let's see if the next championship that happens will have more intense championship battles and will possibly hold one of the biggest battles we've seen, even bigger than the ones we've seen here today. But that is for the future. I hope you guys have enjoyed this series, and I hope, based off of your feedback, I can make it even better for you in the future. But I will see you all next time. Goodbye.